Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Coming at you on hump day here from South Alabama, and it is hot as usual. Probably going to be for the next 2 or 3 months, but the sun's out today and nothing to complain about. So anyhow, today I wanted to share with you why my raw food diet works for me. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. This just came from a little conversation I was having with someone the other day, and we were just talking the various reasons why we think, it's just opinion, that people tend not to be successful on this lifestyle. I've always been a little puzzled by that because you know, I just kind of took to it. And once I said, and I'll get into that part of it, I'll get into this particular point a little bit later, but when I say I took to it right away, is by no means telling you I did things perfect. No means telling you I did everything right. I mean, there's been quite a big learning curve, but it just resonated from day one. And the main reason, and I've said this a million times in videos, that it resonated from the very beginning, because it was it's freedom to eat. No restriction on my food. I had never, up until 9 years ago, I had never been on a diet before, or never even if it's not about losing weight, just gotten back onto a health kick or getting healthy. That I literally could eat all the food that I wanted to. Why? Because I wasn't eating the right foods. When I started following this lifestyle, I'm like, wow, how can I fail on this lifestyle? Because I don't have to be hungry. I'm never hungry. I can eat all the food I want. I never hold myself back. I never sit around and go, okay, I'm hungry, but I better not eat, because I'm feeding myself the right food. And something else I've said over and over and over on this channel is, the better you eat, the cleaner you eat, the more you can eat. And that's what trips everybody up, is I think they're just not eating enough food and not eating a lot of the right food on this diet. Another thing too that I talked about maybe in the last video or a couple of videos ago, I focus on my nutrition. So many people, they're just kind of willy-nilly, or they kind of believe woo-woo stuff, and maybe they eat one, or like they just eat this or they just eat that. They don't get that diversity. Go back and check out that last video I did talking about diversity and the importance of that in there. And I think so many people fail, and that was one of the center points of that video too. So many people fail because they're not eating enough, and they're not feeding their nutritional needs, not eating enough of the things that they need to give your body, to make your body healthy, and to give it what it's actually calling for. Excuse me, I'm getting a little tongue-tied today. There's dust in this house from me cleaning, so I've kind of had like a all day today. Another thing that has helped me too is I never fell into any of the cults from the very beginning. Now, I'm not going to name anybody. That's not my way, is to call people out, name things, or to try to embarrass anybody, or any of that negative stuff. But there's a lot of raw food cults out there, in my opinion. There's a lot of different of your gurus and leaders that it's just like a cult-like following. It's never resonated with me. The science doesn't seem to be there. It just seemed like, the reason I'll use the word over and over, cult, because it just seems to revolve around the personality. I've seen more YouTube people come and go. I've seen more YouTube people change what they're doing, and they're sheep. That's what I don't understand, you know, is like just following a person. Like, I've seen some of these YouTubers do a 180 in the way they eat, the way they live their life, and these people just make that 180 with them. So are you really a believer in why these people changed what they're doing, or do you follow the cult of personality? That's never been my intention on this channel. I don't ever want anybody to follow me. I don't ever want anybody to take my word on things. I just like to share with you what I'm doing, and point you in the directions of things. Go look at them on your own. Evaluate them on your own. If they don't make sense to you, don't do it. But like I say, I don't want anybody to follow me. Definitely don't want anybody to blindly follow me. So a lot, and when it gets to the cults of raw food, one of the worst ones I saw from the beginning, and I don't know, I somehow just was able to avoid it. Maybe I don't know, maybe I had that slight inclination in the earlier days or earlier years, maybe the first couple of years, but a purity thing, this purity thing about the raw food diet, and always trying to go deeper. I can detox a little deeper, I can go a little deeper, we can clean a little bit more. I'm like, why? Just eat the foods that we're designed to eat. Like, for most people, without even worrying about half this stuff that I talk about in my videos, if you just ate real food, your health, your body would improve probably 75–80%. So it's not about this purity thing. It's not about, okay, I don't eat this, 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 and this. It's just about feeding your body. Feeding your body with whole foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, greens, sprouts, the good stuff. But it's definitely not about restricting. It's definitely not about cleansing all the time. And it's not about going deeper, Just eat food. Eat food. We were designed to eat food. We're animals. We're animals just like any other animal. Only we're probably exposed to more toxins and unnatural things than, you know, maybe animals out in the wild are. But another thing too is that, and this is just always, I have my boundaries. I mean, even though I can eat unrestricted and I don't give myself this purity thing, and I don't say, oh, I never eat this, I never eat that. I'll go to a cooked vegan restaurant from time to time. I went last week when I went to Pensacola. I eat, when my weight's down, I eat cooked food. For some reason lately, I don't have to focus so much on eating as much. My weight's a little bit more stable, so I haven't been eating cooked food as much. So it's just, I've got my boundaries. I've got my boundaries that may not be the best of the best all the time. They're definitely not crazy though, but I never go past those boundaries. In other words, like, when I've talked about that I'll put a couple of sweet potatoes on my salads or some of the cooked food that I do include in my diet, people always worry about that slippery slope. That if you eat one bite of food, it's going to somehow magically spiral you. Well, that's something in the head. Don't just, like, even if you disagree with me, don't just say, oh no, but it's different for some people. No, you still make the choice. Just because you eat a potato doesn't mean you have to eat another potato or go on to eat more and more cooked food. I've included, a little bit of cooked food here and there since I've been back in the States for the past 4 years, and it hasn't like gone a little bit more. No, I still do the same things. I eat some sweet potatoes here and there, and I have the things that I eat, but I know my boundaries, and that's what keeps me on track. Is I don't go past. I don't like put these stringent rules on myself, but I also don't go past my boundaries. When my boundaries are my boundaries, I don't eat things outside of that. And some of those boundaries are not just certain types of foods, but the amount of it, the how often I do it, and what have you. So yeah, I mean, it's a really simple lifestyle. I think if people, like I said, and I've said this a bunch of times too, but after a certain amount of videos, you're just going to repeat yourself in one way or another over and over and over. If you would stop trying to do this like a diet, like the meal programs, like I listen to questions I get from time to time, and I listen to other things people are saying in different spots, and it's like somebody wants them to write out this diet, write out a program for them, like they want to do this measuring stuff and weighing this and how much of this, how much of that, instead of just eating food, eating good food that you're meant to eat. Like, for example, like most of my days, I'm eating ice cream, I'm having a smoothie, I'm eating nice big salads with lots of stuff in there. There's plenty of recipes out there. That's why I like to point people to other people's foods as well, because I'm too simple. Most people, if you came and lived with me, you might get a little bored unless you just really like fruit and the simple stuff like the salads. But there's plenty of people out there. Melissa and Nate, they both have wonderful recipe books out there. Chris Kendall has recipe books. So if you watch a lot of my videos, if you know the types of things I'm eating, don't necessarily be discouraged because you're like, well, that's a little too plain and simple for me. There's plenty of foods out there. There's phenomenal food out there. There's raw vegan lasagnas. There's tacos. There's all kind of things that, quite frankly, I'm just too lazy to make on my own. But anyhow, it's just worked for me because it has never been a diet. It's never been a diet. It is kind of cliche to say it's a lifestyle. I don't know if I'd even call it a lifestyle for me. It just became my life. It's how I eat. It's how I fuel. It's how I've learned that I've learned to eat the food that we were designed to eat. Am I perfect? No. Will I ever be perfect? No. Am I looking to ascend to a place of perfection or ascend to a place of, keep going deeper and deeper? No. Why? Because I feel good at most every day. My digestion is great. My elimination is great. I have the energy to do the things I want to do. I don't have aches and pains, thank God, knock on wood. And just gonna kind of continue to do what I'm doing. But just don't feel like so many people look at it like it's just this overwhelming thing. It's just so much, when it's actually the easiest thing in the world. It's as easy as just eating food and letting go of those things you have in your mind on the limitations of the amounts of food that you can eat. So anyhow, that's all I got today. Hope you guys enjoyed this message. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again at the end of the week. Peace.